what if crypto could work for you even when you're asleep? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm using perps to grow my crypto stack and how AI helps me find the perfect entry before I ever risk a trade. By the end of this video, you'll know how to set up perps on Jupiter, how to use AI to lock in sniper entries, and how to keep earning yields on your crypto even when you're not trading. And if we are meeting for the first time, my name is Dunk, and I help you find ways to make passive income with DeFi. And if you don't mind just smashing that like button, hitting subscribe, ringing the bell, it really does help tell the algorithm to share these videos with more people so they can learn more ways to earn passive income with DeFi. And just as a friendly reminder, I am not a financial advisor and I never give financial advice. Please be sure to always do your own research. I am just showing you what I am doing. All right, so let's get into it. So what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be setting up perp, a perpetual trade on Jupiter, and perps can be compared to things that happen with stocks where you are longing and shorting the market. For example, if I entered a long right here before it reversed and I rode it all the way up to the top, I would bet that the price is going to go up and I would put collateral down right here. And if it went too far in the opposite direction, I am risking liquidation and losing that collateral. But if it goes in the right direction, I could sell and take my profit. As you start to trade more, you'll start to learn things about the different candlesticks, and different things like sellers defending a price could cause a reversal and different candlestick patterns. And these will give you signals on when you want to enter into a trade in a particular direction because you want to ride that trade and get some profit. Now, I'm not going to be going into candlesticks too much today in this video, but what I'm going to be using is AI in order to help me actually do my trade. I'm going to be doing this on Jupiter, which is a Solana platform. So you're going to need to have a Solana wallet. You could always use the Phantom wallet, which is one of my favorite ones. But Jupiter actually has its own wallet now, which I really like. I did an entire video going over the new Jupiter wallet. I will link it in the description below. So first I start over here on Jupiter and I like to add a couple indicators in. You could pick different ones, but these are the bare minimum. I like to add in Bollinger Bands, moving average exponential, relative strength index, volume, and VWAP. And I'd encourage you to actually learn what these indicators do. Like this is the Bollinger Band right here. This is our RSI. This is our volume. And as you start to learn what these mean and how they could indicate if the price is going to go in a particular direction, you will start to see it with your own eyes. But for now, we are going to use AI. I've bookmarked a couple different time frames. I go a little overkill on this just because I'd rather give it more information than less. You could always click this little arrow that goes down and you could add in different time frames, or you could favorite them by clicking the little star right here. So what I do is I go over to ChatGPT and I am using a custom GPT called Stacker Agent GPT. It is free and I usually have a link to it either in the description for this video or it's usually on my X profile. Be sure to follow me. My handle is @JWDunkerly. What I am going to do is I'm going to paste in this very simple prompt right here. Help me set up a Sol perp because I'm going to be trading off of Solana. So I give it this very simple prompt. Help me set up a Sol perp, long or short, and I'm doing a 12x leverage. I needed to specify what I'm doing the perp on because over on Jupiter, you could do it on multiple currencies. We could do it on Solana, we could do perps on Ethereum, and we could also do perps on Bitcoin. But just keep in mind that you are still using the same collateral. You are still going to put down a different currency right here that you are betting if the price is going up and down. So for limit orders, it's either USDC or Solana, or if you're doing ETH, it's USDC or ETH, or if you're doing wrapped Bitcoin, it is USDC or wrapped Bitcoin. But again, today we are going to be doing this with Solana. So the reason why I add these different time frames is I come over here to where this little camera is. It's using TradingView charts. So I'm able to grab the chart right here, hit copy image, and then I'm going to come back over to ChatGPT. And again, I said that I wanted 12x leverage, and I'm just going to start pasting in every single chart. This does have bird eye access, so it's going to be able to access live data, but I always like to give a fresh chart. All right, so I have pasted all 7 charts. And again, I'm planning on this being a shorter trade. So the longer time frames may be overkill, but I like to give it more information rather than less. So I'm going to hit return and it's going to start giving me all of the information that I need in order to make this trade. So it's given us our price range for the day. It's 182.07 to 188.68. I've noticed that the trading spread has gotten more narrow for Solana over the last few days. So that actually is part of our risk, that if it dips too much and it falls out of that trading range, I may be stuck until it recovers. This is the reason why I like to do this, because this is a way that you could learn all about these indicators and why trades are going in a particular direction while you are actually making money. So it gives us the price range. It's talking about how the volume and RSI confirm downward bias, but with signs of a potential short-term bounce. Time frame shows compression and volatility incoming, and volatility is actually where we make money. Now it shows on the 4-hour chart that is micro bias bearish, but approaching a bounce territory, meaning it might start going bullish. On the 1-hour chart, it is showing that momentum is fading, potential for a dead cat bounce or range play. The 15-minute chart, it's microstructure setting up for a bounce entry. It's showing that the price is hugging the lower Bollinger Band, often signaling a short-term scalp long. When the price starts to hug the bottom of a Bollinger Band, often it will reverse and start to go back up. But as you can see right here, that is not always the case. For our 5-minute chart, it is confirming that there's a scalp long zone approaching, and now it is giving us entry points for our scalps. So it's giving me 2 different trades that I could jump into. The first one is primary play, trap limit long at a 12x leverage. We wait for a liquidity sweep below $182. Then we enter at 181.90 to 182.20. We set our stop loss at 180.80. And then we take profit at 183, and we could have several different take profits, or you could take all your profit at once. But if the price keeps on going up and there is rejection at 185.20, we could flip into a short instead. And now it is giving us the short option. If it hits 181.80, break with volume surge, momentum will accumulate, gives us our entry point, our stop losses, and our different take profits. So let's go ahead and set up this long. I have come back over to Jupiter, and I am going to go and grab some of my liquidity. I keep it over here in Jupiter Lend because while I'm not using it, it is earning me passive APY. Right now, it is earning me 8.44% a year. This does fluctuate throughout the year. I've seen it as high as 15 so far and as low as about 6%. So this does go up and down. But hey, you know what? However much it is actually earning you, it's earning you more than if it's just sitting in your wallet. So now when I want this, I just open right here. I have some USDC in this wallet. I'm gonna hit withdraw, and I'm gonna grab 500 USDC. Now I'm gonna go back over to the tab where it says perps, and I'm gonna go ahead and place my trade. It said our entry point is 181.90 to 182.20. I'm gonna go right in the middle of that at 182.05. So since we are placing this as a long, I'm going to stay on long. If it was a short, we just click this tab where it says short. But again, we are going to be on our long. You could do a market or a limit order. With a market order, you have a few more things that you could add in. You have different currencies that you could actually leverage, a lot more than you could do with a limit order. So for instance, if I had a bunch of Jup Sol, I could use that in my order in opposed to just Solana or USDC. Another thing that you could do with a market order is that you could set your stop loss and your take profit ahead of time because you are actually opening the order immediately. If I entered right now, which the price is about $183.90, if I said that my take profit was 185, it would automatically lock that in as my take profit price. And then I could even put in a stop loss saying that if it dropped to say 183, it would automatically do that. And in this case, I have USDC, so I would actually place that right there, and it would show the amount that I'd gain. As soon as it takes profit, since it's in USDC, I would actually walk away with $14.66. And if it dips to this stop loss, I would lose $12.29 out of that $250. Another thing to keep in mind is that that price is the price that you're actually getting, not including the fees that you paid in order to open the trade. As we can see down here, this trade actually cost $1.74 plus some gas fees in order to open the trade. Because you can see right here that this trade actually cost a borrow fee as well as an open fee. You'll need to make more than these different fees added up in order to make sure that you are in profit before you're actually making your profit. So right here, what is that, about $3-4 that it cost? So you need to subtract that from your profit. Now, I don't like to jump into the current price very often, so I like to place limit orders. So I'm going to click limit, and I'm going to go ahead and switch this to USDC. With limit orders, you could unfortunately only use USDC or Solana. If it was Bitcoin or ETH, you would just use those two instead of Solana. But again, I am using USDC today, and I wanted my leverage to be at 12% today instead of 10. So I'm going to make that 12. You can go all the way up to 250, but if you take a look at this, at 250 leverage, my entry price at 183 would liquidate at 182.73. So the price would only have to go down about 25 cents in order for me to lose my entire $250. And that's a little too risky for me personally. And I am trying to teach you how to consistently earn passive income doing this and not gamble. So I'm going to switch this back to 12. As you get more comfortable with this, you can continuously raise this to a higher amount, but just know that the higher that you go, the more risk that you have. So again, we are setting our price at 182.05 right up here. And then we have our actual amount that we are going to leverage. In this case, it is 250 USDC. And then I'm going to click the long/buy. Because of our leverage, it is actually giving me 16.3406 Solana worth of liquidity in order to trade. It's going to cost me $2.08 to borrow that. And then there is the open fee as well as the price impact and our transaction fee and then our rent. When you're ready, hit long/buy and it is going to open an order. If I want to adjust the amount of my order, I'm going to need to cancel it and reopen it. But if I want to adjust my trigger price, I just click this little arrow right here, and then I could adjust this right here if I wanted to change the price that triggers the open order. Now, one of the downsides to setting this up on Jupiter versus some of the other platforms is that you can't actually set your take profit or your stop loss before this order actually fills. So one of the risks right here is that if, for instance, the price goes down too quickly, and say it goes to 181.50, it would fill at 182.05, but then the price would have continuously gone down. Now, there's one thing that you can do, and again, this is a little bit of a degen move in order to protect your stop loss. I always recommend putting in the stop loss, but sometimes you are not watching this live, and if it dips too quickly, you might want to catch a little bit of a lower entry price in order to pull your entry price lower so you can recoup your price. So again, this is a degen move. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just add in another little bit, a little bit lower, 181.50 maybe, but only do about $50 in this case. You're going to use your own math, figure this out for yourself. But what will happen is when this fills, it will actually pull the price 182.05 to a lower amount and average between the two. You could also do that by averaging in the leverage. It will also lower your liquidation price. So that way the price would have to go down even further before you hit liquidation. And again, this is just a degen method to make the best out of a bad situation if you get caught in this kind of like downward trend. This happened to me not too long ago where there was that big dip in Solana and I got caught in a big trade, but I re-entered in at a much lower price. So when I hit my take profit percentage was actually much higher because I averaged it in to enter in at a much lower price. So if I hit add, it's going to add in another order down here. But now it is only for $50 and it is leveraged at 12x. So it's just about $600 after what the fees would cost. See, there's over $5 of fees right here. And you can do this as much as you want. I like to give it a little bit of a spread because I do not want to get caught by a falling knife. But if it does dip, it will collect these and it will pull my entry price and my liquidation price to a lower amount. I'm not giving you advice to do this. This is just something that I have done that has saved me during a big dip that I did not expect. Again, AI is very helpful, but it only knows what the charts are doing, and there's a lot of manipulation that happens in these markets. So now I lower the price down, 178.50, 177.50, and there I go. Now I have 6 different orders in. I have my actual real order. And what I will do is when this order fills, I will actually cancel all of these other orders and I will enter in my take profit and my stop loss. Now, all you need to do is wait and keep an eye on the charts and see if things are moving in the direction. What I often do is I will go back over to Stacker Agent GPT and I'll enter in fresh charts and I'll tell it to reassess the chart and see if it has updates on its recommendations. And if it does, then I may adjust my order. If you like learning ways to make passive income with DeFi, just go to DeFiEarner.com and grab my 7 simple steps to turn crypto into daily passive income. It is beginner friendly and an easy way to start making passive income with DeFi so you could stop trading your time for money. You could also find a link in the description. And that's it. That's how you set up a perp on Solana and use AI to help you make decisions on what your entry price is, your stop loss, your take profit. It also helps educate you and teach you how to read these charts. And once your position closes, you'll get USDC back. And what I typically do is I will go back over and deposit USDC back into my Jupiter Lend. I just hit deposit and then I start earning interest. And if I ever need to spend any of my crypto, I go and put it into my KAST card, which you can get at mydeficard.com. KAST card is a Visa debit card where you just add USDC or other stable coins, and then you can go and spend it just like cash anywhere that Visa is accepted. It's made it really easy for me to be able to spend my crypto and really stay on chain with all of my capital and just debank. You know me, I'm all about passive income, so they are going to be adding in a 4.5 yield on anything that is in that wallet. So that means that you could start putting money into that wallet, which think of it like a high yield bank account, which then you could just use your Visa card in order to spend money in that account. This just makes it super simple for me, so go ahead and grab your KAST card. So are you going to go ahead and set up your first perp and lock in some profits? Let me know what your strategy is in the comments. Again, my name is Dunk. Keep creating, keep earning passive income with DeFi, and I will see you in the next video.